Hi, hello everybody. Do another quiz night. If you're out there, get yourselves on the chat and we'll see who we've got. Hi, June. Number one as ever. Excuse me. All right, kid. Evening, Stephen, Jeanette, and the Wolf Forgotten. Evening, Stacey. Give it a minute or two and see if either Richard or Donna partaking. Here, I'll give you the subjects for tonight. Question one's your usual general knowledge. 2 is history. 3 is pop. 4 is films. 5 is TV. 6 is food and drink. 7 is famous people. 8 is sport. 9 is roads and streets. And 10 is true or false. That's your selection for tonight. Yeah. Yes, I'll give it a couple of minutes, June. Well, we'll wait about 25 to another minute yet. If not, there'll just be the 4 years. Oh dear. Everybody on tenterhooks to see what's waiting in the budget tomorrow. A rough guess with it, Brad. The rich I'll get a little bit richer and the poor I'll get a little bit poorer. So that's just a rough guesstimation on it. Yeah, it's generally about right. It doesn't look like we're going to get anybody else, so we'll crack on. Here's your quiz. Question one, general knowledge. First part, who wrote the book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Who wrote the book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Question two, in which British city would you find Waverley Railway Station? In which British city would you find Waverley Railway Station? Question three, for what purpose are tarot cards used? For what purpose are tarot cards used? Tarot. Question four, who plays the father in the 1997 film Kramer versus Kramer? Who plays the father in the 1997 film Kramer versus Kramer? Excuse me. Question five. In which country is Benfica a famous football team? In which country is Benfica a famous football team? Question two is on history. First part. Which US president was shot 5 days after the end of the American Civil War? Which American president was shot 5 days after the end of the American Civil War? Question two. Which country was ruled by the Romanov dynasty from 1613 to 1917? Excuse me. Which country was ruled by the Romanov dynasty from 1613 to 1917? Question three. What was the last battle of the Wars of the Roses, 1485? Was it the Battle of Tewkesbury or the Battle of Bosworth Field? What was the last battle of the Wars of the Roses, fought in 1485? Was it the Battle of Tewkesbury or the Battle of Bosworth Field? Question 4. Which Axis power changed sides during World War II, declaring war on Germany in 1943? Which Axis power changed sides during World War II, declaring war on Germany in 1943? And question 5. Who were the parents of Queen Elizabeth I? Who were the parents of Queen Elizabeth I? Father and mother. That's your first 2 rounds. If you've got any questions on any of those, just highlight it on the chat here. If not, when you've got your answers down, just send us a ready. Oh, everybody's ready. Oh, hello, Richard. Have you heard all the first couple of rounds yet, Richard? Because I haven't given any answers out yet. No bother, mate. And Stacey's ready. Right, Richard. If you're ready, I'll go through them. Just because I shout when you're ready to take the questions. Put something other than ready, because I'll think you're ready with the answers. Right. Question 1 was on general knowledge. This is just for Richard. General knowledge. Question 1. Who wrote the book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Two. In which British city would you find Waverley Railway Station? Which British city would you find Waverley Railway Station? 3. For what purpose are tarot cards used? For what purpose are tarot cards used? 4. Who plays the father in the 1997 film Kramer vs. Kramer? Who plays the father in Kramer vs. Kramer? 5. In which country is Benfica a famous football team? Question 2 is on history. Which American president was shot 5 days after the end of the American Civil War? Which US president was shot 5 days after the end of the American Civil War? Excuse me. 2 on history. Which country was ruled by the Romanov dynasty from 1613 to 1917? Which country was ruled by the Romanov dynasty from 1613 to 1917? 3. What was the last battle of the Wars of the Roses fought in 1485? Was it the Battle of Tewkesbury or the Battle of Bosworth Field? Last Battle of the Wars of the Roses, Tewkesbury or Bosworth Field? 4. Which Axis power changed sides during World War II, declaring war on Germany in 1943? Which Axis power changed sides during World War II, declaring war on Germany in 1943? Question 5. Who were the parents of Queen Elizabeth I? who were both parents of Queen Elizabeth I. So we've got Stacey ready, Stephen ready, and Eddie ready, and June ready. We'll just give Richard a moment or two. Oh, that didn't take long, Richard. Okay, the answers. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, written by Roald Dahl. Waverley Railway Station is in Edinburgh. Tarot cards are used for fortune telling. Before that, in Kramer vs. Kramer, was played by the brilliant Dustin Hoffman. And Benfica is a famous Portuguese football team, Portugal. History: the American president shot 5 days after the end of the American Civil War was Abraham Lincoln. Country ruled by the Romanov dynasty from 1613 to 1917, that was Russia. The last battle of the Wars of the Roses was the Battle of Bosworth Field. The Axis power that changed sides during World War II, declaring war on Germany in 1943, was Italy. And the parents of Elizabeth I were Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. You've got your scores, send them through. No problem, Richard, no problem at all. And a good score, Richard, 9 out of 10. June, 10. Stacey, 9. Stephen's got a 9 there as well. And Eddie got a 10. Well, there's not much between them, is it? 1 point between the lot is Stephen on 9, Eddie on 10, June on 10, Stacey on 9, and Richard on 9. We're going to round 3, pop music. Pop music. Everybody, if you don't know the answer, you can still have a guess. I'm going to name you 7 George Michael tracks. Some are collaborations. But what I want you to do is name the 5 that reached number 1. Okay, 7 popular George Michael tracks. Only 5 of them actually reached number 1. Name the 5 number 1s. And the tracks are Careless Whisper, A Different Corner, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, Faith, Jesus to a Child, Praying for Time, and Somebody to Love. As I say, some of those are collaborations. The 7 George Michael songs, you want the 5 that reach number 1. I'll give them again. Careless Whisper, A Different Corner, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, Faith, Jesus to a Child, Praying for Time, Somebody to Love. That's all 5 parts of that question. Okay, question 4 is on films. Films of the 60s. Films of the 60s. Hopefully made these fairly easy for those of you who weren't around at the time. Question 1. The 1967 film Guess Who's Coming to Dinner starred Spencer Tracy, Sidney Poitier, and which major actress who won an Oscar for this performance? 1967 film Guess Who's Coming to Dinner starred Spencer Tracy, Sidney Poitier, and which major actress who won an Oscar for her performance in this film? Question 2. In the 1968 film, when was The Space Odyssey? In the 1968 film, when was The Space Odyssey? Question 3. On which side of New York was the musical Story about rival gangs? On which side of New York was the musical Story about rival gangs? Question 4. Which 1966 spaghetti western starred Clint Eastwood, Lee Van Cleef, and Eli Wallach in the title roles? Which 1966 spaghetti western starred Clint Eastwood, Lee Van Cleef, and Eli Wallach in the title roles? Question 5. What type of cowboy was John Voight in the 1969 film? What type of cowboy was John Voight in the title of a 1969 film? When you've got all the answers down, send us a ready, and we'll go through them all. June ready, Stephen ready, Richard ready, Stacey ready. And Eddie's ready. There you go. Okay, the pop music. The 5 answers you're looking for, the 5 number ones were Careless Whisper, A Different Corner, Jesus to a Child, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, which was a collaboration with Elton John, and Somebody to Love, which was a collaboration with Queen. All right, I'll give you a shout after each round, Stacey. Make sure you're okay. I got all the questions so far. Well, you said you were ready in the last round, didn't you? Yeah. Okay, the films of the 60s. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner starred Spencer Tracy, Sidney Poitier, and Katharine Hepburn. The 68 film The Space Odyssey was 2001 A Space Odyssey. Musical story about rival gangs was West Side Story. Clint Eastwood, Lee Van Cleef, and Eli Wallach were The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And John Voight in the 1969 film was Midnight Cowboy. Midnight Cowboy. Right, your scores. Stephen scored 8 to 17. Eddie, 9 to 19. Richard, 7 to 16. June, 9 to 19. Stacey, 7 to 16. So we've got Stacey and Richard on 16. Stephen and Jeanette on 17. And then Eddie and June on 19. As we go to round 5, which is TV. It's actually TV and film stars. These are actors and actresses who starred in some very famous films and very famous TV series. Okay, the first one, who starred in the films The Iron Lady and The Favourite, and the TV series Broadchurch and Fleabag. Same actress starred in the films The Iron Lady and The Favourite on film, and Broadchurch and Fleabag on TV. Question 2. Who starred in the films Paddington and Paddington 2, and on TV starred in Downton Abbey in 2012? Which actor starred in the films Paddington and Paddington 2 on the film, and Downton Abbey in 2012 on TV? Question 3. Which actor starred in the films Shallow Grave and the Others, and on TV in Our Friends in the North and Doctor Who. Jack there starred in Shallow Grave and the Others on the big screen, and Our Friends in the North and Doctor Who on the small screen. Question 4. Which actor starred in the films This Is England and The Irishman, and on TV in Time and Line of Duty? Which actor starred in This Is England and The Irishman on the big screen, and Time and Line of Duty on television? And question 5, on films, on TV, but who starred in the films Withnail and I and Alien 3, and on TV in Doctor Who and Holby City? Jack starred in the films Withnail and I and Alien 3, and on the small screen in Doctor Who and Holby City. Question 6 is on food and drink. Beer. Beer, wonderful beer. Question 1. Which country is home to Peroni beer? Which country does Peroni beer come from? Question 2. Which German city hosts the annual Oktoberfest beer festival? Which German city excuse me, hosts the annual Oktoberfest beer festival? Question 3. In brewing, what do the letters IPA refer to? In brewing, what do the letters IPA refer to? Question 4. Which beer is sold under the commercial tagline, "Good things come to those who wait"? Which beer is sold under the commercial tagline, "Good things come to those who wait"? And question 5: in which decade was the beer can introduced? The 1930s, the 40s, or the 50s? In which decade was the beer can introduced? 1930s, 40s, or 50s? When you get your answers down, send us already through. June ready? Richard ready? Stacey ready? Stephen ready? Just waiting on Eddie. There you go. Okay, TV and film stars. The Chaplers starred in the films The Iron Lady and The Favourite. The TV series Broadchurch and Fleabag. That was Olivia Colman. Films Paddington and Paddington 2. And on TV, Downton Abbey in 2012. That was Hugh Bonneville. 3, the films Shallow Grave and the Others. On TV, Our Friends in the North and Doctor Who. That was Christopher Eccleston. 4, the films This Is England and The Irishman. The TV series Time and The Line of Duty. That was Stephen Graham. One of the great Grahams, you know. And the films Withnail and I in Alien 3. And on TV in Doctor Who and Holby City. That was Paul McGann. Excuse me. Who would drink the beer? Which country is home to Peroni beer? That's Italy. The Oktoberfest happens in Munich. IPA refers to India Pale Ale. India Pale Ale. The beer sold under the commercial tagline, "Good things come to those who wait." That's my favourite Guinness. And in which decade was the beer can introduced? That was in the 1930s, 1935. 1935. When you get your scores, send them through. Richard, 8 puts you on 24. Eddie, 6 puts you on 25. Stephen, 9 puts you on 26. June, 7 puts you on 26. And Stacey, 8. Puts you on 24. Excellent. 2 points between everybody. We've got Richard and Stacey on 24. Eddie on 25. Stephen on 26. And June on 26. There's a lot of actory type questions tonight, I'm afraid. Question 7 on famous people. These are English Toms. English actors with the first name Tom. Question 1. Which Tom played Alfie Solomons in Peaky Blinders? Which Tom played Alfie Solomons in Peaky Blinders? Two. Which Tom played Spider-Man in Homecoming and No Way Home? Which Tom played Spider-Man in Homecoming and No Way Home? Question 3. Which Tom played Jonathan Payne in TV's The Night Manager and stars as Loki in the Marvel comic films? Which Tom, these are all English actors, played Jonathan Payne in TV's The Night Manager and stars as Loki in the Marvel Comics films? Question 4. Which Tom received the BAFTA Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role for his role in the comedy film The Full Monty in 1997? Which Tom received the BAFTA for Best Actor in a Supporting Role for the comedy film The Full Monty in 1997? And question 5. Which Tom played Lance Corky Corcoran in The Night Manager and Edward Stratton in Baptiste? Which Tom played Lance Corky Corcoran in the TV series The Night Manager and Edward Stratton in the TV series Baptiste? Great series that was, actually, Baptiste. Question 8 is on sport. Just for you, June, it's a guessy one. So you'll be given answers. If you don't know the right answer, you just need to guess at one. This is on numbers. Numbers. Question 1. On a standard dartboard, which number lies between 9 and 11? Is it 8, 14, or 17? On a standard dartboard, which number lies between 9 and 11? 8, 14, or 17? Question 2. The heptathlon is made up of how many events? 5, 7, or 9? The heptathlon is made up of how many events? 5, 7, or 9? Excuse me. Question 3. How many coloured rings are on the Olympic flag? 4, 5, or 6? How many coloured rings are on the Olympic flag? 4, 5, or 6? Question 4. In betting, what odds are known as pony or macaroni? 10 to 1, 25 to 1, or 50 to 1? In betting, what odds are known as pony or macaroni? 10 to 1, 25 to 1, 50 to 1. Question 5. In American football, excuse me, in American football, how many points do you score for a touchdown? Is it 5, 6, or 7? In American football, how many points do you score for a touchdown? 5, 6, or 7? Excuse me. When you've got all the answers down, just send us a ready. Richard's ready. June's ready. Stacey ready. Stephen ready. Excuse me. There's Eddie ready. Okay, the famous people. English Toms. Tom that played Alfie Solomons in Peaky Blinders was Tom Hardy. Tom that played Spider-Man was Tom Holland. Tom who played Jonathan Payne in The Night Manager and Loki in the Marvel comic films is Tom Hiddleston. Tom who received a BAFTA for the film The Full Monty is Tom Wilkinson. And the Tom who starred in The Night Manager and as Edward Stratton in Baptiste was Tom Hollander. There's a Tom Holland and a Tom Hollander. It's Tom Hollander for the last one. Sport and numbers. The dartboard number that lies between 9 and 11 is 14. The heptathlon is made up of 7 events. The Olympic flag has 5 rings on it. The pony in betting is 25 to 1. And in American football, you score 6 for a touchdown and 1 for the point after. But 6 for the touchdown. You've got your scores, send them through. Richard scored 8. That's 32. Eddie scored 8. That's 33. Stephen scored 8. That's 34. June scored 6. That's 32. And Stacey 8. That's 32. Excellent scoring again. Still only 2 points between the lotties. We've got Richard, Stacey, and June all on 32. Eddie on 33. Stephen and Jeanette, your current leaders, on 34. As we go into the last 2 rounds. Question 9 is on roads and streets. Roads and streets. All the answers contain a street word, either street, lane, avenue, anything like that. It would describe a type of road or street on a map. So any word that you would find to describe roads or streets, like lanes, avenues, anything like that. Okay, so you've got to give the answer, but they will contain a street name of some kind. Question 1. Cartoon character from the Looney Tunes studio, first appearing in 1949, often chased by Wile E. Coyote. Cartoon character from the Looney Tunes studio, first appearing in 1949, often chased by Wile E. Coyote. Question 2. A humanitarian charity that operates largely in Muslim countries. A humanitarian charity that operates largely in Muslim countries. Man City playing tonight, like. It was a Champions League kid. Anyway. Number 3. A 1983 hit for Eddie Grant. 1983 hit for Eddie Grant. Oh, I said. Question 4. British broadcaster, journalist and writer, born in 1946. A regular panelist on the ITV talk show Loose Women. Number 5. The American actress nominated 8 times for an Oscar, holding the record for the most nominations in an acting category without a win. The American actress nominated 8 times, won none. That's for Oscars, hold the record for the most nominations in an acting category without a win. Is that 2 out? Okay, round 10, true or false? True or false, quite simple. Give you the question, you just say, I'll give you the statement, you just say whether it's true or false. True or false, false or true. Question one. The Royal Oak, situated in North Yorkshire, is the highest pub in Britain. Royal Oak, situated in North Yorkshire, is the highest pub in Britain. True or false? Question two. The Cairngorms is the largest national park in Britain. The Cairngorms is the largest national park in Britain. True or false? Question three. Sir Christopher Wren's tomb has an inscription in Latin which means, "Reader, if you seek his monument, look around you." Christopher Wren's tomb has an inscription in Latin which means, "Reader, if you seek his monument, look around you." True or false? False or true? Excuse me. Question four. Christopher Lloyd played the part of Gomez in the 1991 film The Addams Family. Christopher Lloyd played the part of Gomez in the 1991 film The Addams Family. True or false? False or true? Question five. Jimmy Wales and Larry Sanger founded YouTube in 2005. Jimmy Wales and Larry Sanger founded YouTube in 2005. True or false? False or true? When you've got all the answers down, senders are ready. When everybody's ready, we'll go through and find out the final scores. Richard's ready. June's ready. Stephen's ready. Stephen's even Rawadi. Like me, Stephen had fat finger syndrome, mate. By the times I pressed more than one of the wrong key on the keyboard. Stacey's ready. Just waiting on Eddie. There you go. Okay, question 9 on roads and streets. Cartoon character often chased by Wile E. Coyote, Mimi, is the Roadrunner. The humanitarian charity that operates largely in Muslim countries is the Red Crescent. Red Crescent. 1983 hit for Eddie Grant was Electric Avenue. British broadcaster, journalist and writer, born in 1946, a regular panelist on Loose Women, Janet Street Porter. And the American actress, nominated 8 times, holding a record for the most nominations without a win, Glenn Close. Glenn Close. True or false? The Royal Oak, situated in North Yorkshire, is the highest pub in Britain. It's false. It's the Tan Hill Inn. It's famous last year, I think, when it got snowed in. Everybody got snowed in for about 4 days. 2, the Cairngorms is the largest national park in Britain. That's true. Christopher Wren's tomb has an inscription in Latin, which means, reader, if you seek his monument, look around you. That's true. Christopher Lloyd played the part of Gomez in the 1991 film The Addams Family. That's false. He played Uncle Fester. And Jimmy Wales and Larry Sanger founded YouTube in 2005. That's false. They founded Wikipedia. So when you get your final scores, send them through. And we'll see who's your winner for this week. Eddie, 8 is 41. Richard, 5, 37. June, 9, 41. Stephen, 7, 41. And Stacey, 5, 37. Stephen and Richard Stacey and Richard, just dipped out a little in the last round there, which means they are both in second place on 37. And your 3 winners all on 41 points. Stephen and Jeanette, Eddie and Carol and Davey, and Jude and Mick. All on 41 points. He's copied off the wrong one, isn't he, Stacey? Anyway, cracking quiz, good scores. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Every round, Stacey, that's brilliant. Oh, you have as well, haven't you? Must be some kind of telekinetic connection there or something. Okay, cheers, Stephen. Cheers, Richard. Cheers, Stacey. See everybody next week, hopefully. Thank you very much. And good night. Bye, all.